Hey guys, what is up? Today we're talking about TES Medium Hard Double Podium in E Series. They got second and third. So let's talk about how they did it. So let's talk about how it started. Lap one, they were 7th and 11th, only cars on mediums. They got second and third because Barry Berman was able to just completely clear the field. John Evans, this was for Ferrari Esports. John Evans was able to hold the field up in those opening laps, make like a 3 or 4 second gap, and Barry's just cleared the entire race. But this medium hard strategy was very interesting. And you look at the end of the race. Look, Barry Berman clear by 5 seconds, but then TES hard clear by 5 seconds on all the other medium runners in the field. So let's talk about how they did that. So here we have a graph of predicted times of the hard medium versus a medium hard strategy. So what I did, I looked at the grip. I had the tire wear for each compound, and I was looking at the delta in grip for each lap throughout the entire race, and then converting that to a time, and then factoring in the pit stops. So what you'll see is that they have that they start the medium hards, so they have an advantage. This was if they were running clear air. So this has nothing to do with the basic exactly how it happened. But if you ran in clear air, you would have the mediums would get an advantage. So like the first lap, they'd have 8/10 advantage. That advantage starts fading as the mediums start wearing faster. You're up 1.5 seconds. By the time they pitted like 8 or 9. It was at 1.1 seconds. Okay, now they after they have the pit stop, they're down 22.2 seconds to the field to that hard runners. And then they start making up time because now they're on fresh hards as the other runners are the hard mediums are on used hards. Then the hard medium pits. So now the medium hards are in front, right? The medium hards, the natural undercut, you're going to be in front. You'll be in front by about 12 seconds. And then they'll start the hard medium strategy on fresh mediums versus old hards. So they'll start clawing their way back. And if you ran it out in clear air, hard medium lap 17 would beat medium hard lap 9 by about 9/10. So it was a bit of like interestingness with the averaging and how I was averaging lap one, like the start of each lap. You could also do like the average throughout each lap, but the easiest way to do is at the start of each lap. So it's about 8 or 9/10 how you would run it up because right, this medium hard you're not utilizing the mediums as much as you can. So that's why there's a bit of an advantage. So I'm going to show you what actually happened. But before I do that, I just want to say that there's a Discord link in my description as my friends' setups and strategies. And you can join that. If you also just want to talk to me, I have stuff about tires in there. So there's a link in there. So let's look at what actually happened for the race. So this is what actually happened. So this is the E-Series TES gap to the P2 train. So we didn't look at P1, we looked at P2 every lap. So they made up some positions at the beginning, but they were never in second. So they were always 8/10 behind second, a second behind, 1.7, 1.4. When you want to be 1.1, like you would expect the mediums to be ahead if you were running clear air. So at this point, you're thinking, okay, the medium hards you're at a bit of a disadvantage, about 2.5 seconds down in the of where you could be in these opening laps, just based on your tire advantage. So they pit, and they're a bit slower. So now you're about 1 second down, and then it keeps getting worse. So now it's 1 second. The gap's now 2 seconds. So the red's where they actually were. The blue is where you want to be. So 2 seconds, 2 seconds, 2 seconds. Now it gets closer. It's getting to 1.3. It's about even here. So you'll see that the hard mediums, they start fighting before they get into the pits. Then they come out of the pits. You're about 1.2 seconds off. And now they start fighting even more. So this actual time, the hard medium strategy is never able to catch up. So you think they would be catching up, but they're fighting so much they're not gaining much they're not getting as much time as they should. They're only getting a second a lap, 0.2 a lap, 1.7. When you should be getting about 2 seconds every lap, and then it starts dropping to 1 second. So this fighting right here is how TES was able to keep that P2, that second and third in the train. Let's look at some key moments in the race. So lap 17. So we can look down here. We're focusing on the RHG cars. These were the lead. They were in the lead train catching TES. So here's if they pitted their first car, I think lap 16, so now it's at lap 17 coming out of the pits. Look at the gap from RHG to TES, 10.6 seconds. That's not bad. That's kind of where you want to be. 10.6. You're at an advantage here. So you're thinking, okay, we're in a good spot here. We're at 10.6 seconds. There's 12 laps to go. RHG's in a good spot. But let's look at lap 18. Lap 18, it's still 10. It's 10.4 seconds. So you should have gained 2 seconds, but you gained 2/10 to these TES drivers. And you can look at, it was probably due to the ABS driver, Florian, right? He had to pass, RHG had to pass the ABS driver, and throughout the entire next lap, they only able to gain 2/10. So when Klaffenbach, he pitted a lap later, Sergio, you wanted him to be up the road 2 seconds more. So now you're at that disadvantage, and now you got this whole train behind you, and they all start fighting. And we can look at Klaffenbach's lap times. So this is back to that original graph. You can look at, the hard mediums are making good grounds 10, 11, 12. So 10, 11, 12, Klaffenbach, he was going in the 25s, mid 25s. This is where you're extending your gap. You're at 2 seconds, a little over 2 seconds, a little over 2 seconds, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now you start getting into 14, 15, 16. Look how much slower his lap times were. He was in that lead train trying to catch. Look, he's about a second slower, 2 seconds slower. He pit lap 17. His time would have been about 26, about a half second off. So you start losing that right here as they start coming to pits. That's when they start fighting. So that's where they're losing that time. So yeah, that's what I have for you. Just interesting to see how that medium hard strategy was able to work, even though they didn't get that much of an advantage in that first stint. It's that fighting into the pits, then fighting, coming out of the pits, and then fighting with that one RHG car and that ABS car that was able to get the TES double podium. So good job to them, especially a week ago, their strategies got leaked on Twitter, and they were still able to throw a strategic masterclass. So thank you so much for watching this. Like, comment, and subscribe. See ya. Bye.